Today, guys, we're going to be discussing the huge price prediction for Near Protocol. This is one you're not going to want to miss. As I get into today's video, smash that like button. If you're new, subscribe. And guys, let's jump right down into it. Okay, before we get started with talking about the price prediction for Near Protocol, we're going to first of all talk about price predictions for Bitcoin and Ethereum and how they relate back to the price prediction of Near Protocol. So today's video is pre-recorded, so some of the prices may be slightly different. The market cap valuations might be slightly different, but the concept of today's video will remain very true. So at the point of recording today's video, Bitcoin is hovering around $60,735. The market cap is at 1.197 trillion, which is pretty phenomenal. But again, this is because we've seen Bitcoin spot ETFs really balloon up. We've seen a lot of money from the stock market flowing into those vehicles. Those vehicles then have to buy Bitcoin and hold them into reserves via Coinbase, right? So there's a huge process here that allows traditional finance to basically get their hands indirectly on BTC, right? And as a result, that's basically meant that the Bitcoin supply has shrunk and obviously prices is skyrocketed, right? We obviously had a Bitcoin halving event this year as well. All of these things have been kind of, fueling away a big run to the upside where Bitcoin went up into new all-time highs recently. We've seen a pretty significant correction for Bitcoin, and that's kind of where we sit today because I don't think this bull market is over just yet. And we've got some pretty phenomenal price predictions for Near Protocol. And in order to really understand those, we have to understand the price predictions for Bitcoin, right? A lot of people kind of sit back and they say, like, Bitcoin's definitely going to $500,000, right? And whilst they tell me that, they'll also say there's no way that Cardano would go to $10. There's no way that Near Protocol would go to X number, right? There's no way that Solana is going to reach those kind of highs, right? But at the same breath, they'll say that Bitcoin's going to $500,000, right? At $500,000, the market cap for Bitcoin would be $9.8 trillion. That is an 8.2x from its current position today. Right, it's a pretty phenomenal number, and you can question whether or not $500,000 is realistic. I personally don't think it is. Some people say 250,000 is more likely. That would be a $4.9 trillion market cap and a 4.1x from its current position. And the same thing for Ethereum, right? Obviously, we haven't seen the Ethereum spot ETFs just yet. We've seen them be approved by the SEC, but we haven't seen them signed, sealed, and delivered, their T's crossed, their I's dotted, and signed, sealed, delivered, and actually live, right? That is coming though. And when it does, we're going to see Ethereum's price absolutely explode to the upside. At the point of recording, we're hovering at $3,366 for ETH, a $405 billion market cap at the moment. Now, the circuit supplies 120 million ETH. There is no maximum, but of course, going with the proof of stake, things change up a little bit when it comes to Ethereum. Now, their Ethereum spot ETF is going to drive some pretty phenomenal numbers. Some people say $30,000 ETH is around the corner. That's a $3.6 trillion market cap for Ethereum. Some people say $25,000. That's a $3 trillion market cap. Some say more likely $15,000. That's a $1.8 trillion market cap for Ethereum. And so knowing these price predictions help us understand whether or not Near is going to be over-exceeding itself or underachieving, right, based on price predictions. Now, there's good reasons, a way that we drive out price predictions. We're going to use Elliott wave theory, Fibonacci retracement tools, these kind of things to give those price predictions for Near Protocol. And those price predictions, we're going to plumb them in here, and it's going to spit out a market cap that's potentially going to be in line with our expectations of the rest of the market. So you can let me know in the comments below what your Bitcoin and Ethereum price predictions are and whether or not they're going to be in line with the Near Protocol price predictions that you have in mind. So let's go ahead and jump down into the charts for Near Protocol and discuss its potential, right? So here we have a pretty phenomenal run, right? We've seen Near Protocol do okay so far, right? We had a reasonable run of about 3,700% during 2020 into 2022, right? We saw a big move to the downside, great value, just under $1 for Near Protocol. We've ballooned up quite nicely already, okay? We've seen a pretty good run and found resistance in a very typical area for Near as well, right on the 0.618 area, okay? So this was an 827% run, right on on the resistance area, where I would say the most likely scenario is on the smaller time frame stuff to actually be taking profit, $9.40. Okay, we rallied up to a high of $9.01. Okay, very close to that 0.618 Fibonacci level, right? So we can see right here that the smaller price prediction that I had kind of scoped out is exactly where we found our resistance, $9.40, and the higher range at the 786 is $17.42. So what we can do, guys, is we can go back to our spreadsheet and we can plumb those numbers in, right? We can say $9.40, okay, that's the low side for NEAR, puts a $10.6 billion market cap. From its current price today, that's a 1.9x, okay? And I think that's highly likely. We've kind of already achieved it, right? The next price target, obviously the 786, comes in at $17.42. So if I plumb that in there, we can see a $19.025 billion market cap, a 3.4x from its current position. Again, I think this is actually a really easy target to hit and is not actually kind of stretching us in any way, shape, or form. The next kind of target range is slightly higher. Let me go ahead and bring back the chart here so you can kind of see it. This is actually targeting out $38.21 to $90.85. And this is where I think we're going to find the maximum amount of value. This in itself is where we actually have mirrored the previous move, right? That 3,700% up to a 9,255%. So what does this do to the spreadsheet when we start putting in $38.21? Well, let's go ahead and take a look, right? $31.28. I'm just going to check to make sure I got that number right. 38.21, 38.21. There we go. This is a $41.7 billion market cap, a 7.5x from its current position. And again, I think this is highly realistic. I don't think this is unrealistic. If we were to see a $15,000 ETH, for example, we could see the relationship between our current positioning and Ethereum actually being really much in line. I don't think this is unrealistic in any way, shape, or form. Now, of course, that higher range target is a little bit more of a stretch target, $90.85, right? If we go ahead and type that in, $90.85, that's going to give us a $99.2 billion market cap, a 17.9x from its current position. This is a bit of a stretch target. This is highly difficult to achieve, but something that is still technically possible to do. Something that we all have to monitor and see whether or not we can or cannot get there with various different structures. I think $38 is a lot easier. $90 is a bit of a stretch. I think there could be a bit of a move maybe towards 40, 45, something to that range. But for the most part, the whole point of this exercise is to kind of show you that the market cap, based on the price predictions that I have for NEAR, aren't actually terribly unrealistic depending on how high you think Bitcoin and Ethereum can go. Bitcoin and Ethereum are going to lead the charge in their next altcoin run, and specifically Ethereum with the Ethereum spot ETFs. And if Ethereum blooms up the way that I expect it to, I think altcoins are going to follow in a really dramatic way. NEAR protocol will be no exception to that. The question simply becomes, what is your price prediction for NEAR? Does it align with your price prediction for Bitcoin and Ethereum? Do you think that these are going to be golden times for the crypto investors, specifically those who were early enough adopters? Let me know in the comments down below where you sit on that spectrum. If you found today's video useful and informative, smash that like button. If you're new, subscribe. And if you haven't done so yet, give this video a click and stay up to date in the crypto space.